The dining room was thick with tension, the kind that clings to the air like smoke. My voice broke as I glared across the polished oak table at my father, Victor Grant. "You're funding Ethan's company again?" I said, the words trembling despite my effort to steady them. "His last two flops torched piles of your cash, Dad. And here I am with a solid plan, something that could actually work, and you won't even give it a glance." Victor didn't flinch. He folded his napkin with the precision of a surgeon, leaned back in his chair, and fixed me with that unshakable calm that always made me feel small. "Sophie, I respect your passion," he said, his tone smooth as marble. "But business is a man's game. Ethan needs this to get his legs under him. You've got a good job, stick with that." The sting hit harder than I'd expected, a sharp jab to the chest. Across the table, my brother Ethan barely registered the exchange, his eyes glued to his phone, thumb scrolling like none of this mattered. Why would it? He'd heard Dad's favoritism before. Always aimed like a spotlight on him and leaving me in the shadows. "I'm Sophie Grant, 30 years old, and for as long as I can recall, I've burned to build something of my own. Not just a fleeting daydream, but a fire in my gut, a calling." Growing up, I'd watched Dad claw his way up, turning a scrappy logistics outfit into the rock our family stood on. His grit, his hustle. The way he spun nothing into gold, I idolized it. I wanted that legacy. But from the start, it was clear I wasn't in the running. To Dad, Ethan was the chosen one, the heir to his empire. Even though my older brother couldn't care less about the throne. Ethan's track record? A graveyard of failures, some half-baked online store, a glitchy app no one downloaded, a marketing gig that fizzled in months. Each time, Dad signed the checks and shrugged it off. "He's just finding his way," he'd say, like it was noble. But me? My dreams got the cold shoulder labeled cute or unrealistic. "Stay in your lane, Sophie," he'd tell me. "Your job's steady. You're good at it." He wasn't wrong. I'd climbed to a decent spot in finance, juggling budgets and decoding market shifts like a pro. But it wasn't enough. I craved more than a paycheck. I wanted to create. So there I sat staring at Dad's stonewall face, my meticulously crafted proposal. A lifeline to my future, sitting ignored between us. "Dad, this is a mistake," I said, fighting to keep my voice from cracking. "You're handing Ethan another shot he's not ready for. While I've got a plan, low risk, scalable, profitable in year one. Why won't you look at it?" He shook his head, unmoved. "Sophie, it's not about risk. It's about opportunity. Ethan needs this. And I don't." I snapped the dam breaking. Why does he get chance after chance? But I'm stuck on the sidelines? Is it because I'm not good enough, or because I'm not him? "Enough," Dad cut in, his voice like a gavel. "This conversation's done." My chest tightened, hands shaking as I shoved my chair back and stormed out. No more words, just the sound of my footsteps echoing in my ears. That night in my cramped apartment, I stared at the proposal I poured my soul into. It wasn't just numbers and charts, it was me. A boutique consultancy for small businesses, blending my knack for finance with a hunger to lift others up. I'd found a gap in the market, crunched the projections, even sketched out a killer marketing playbook. And Dad had brushed it off like dust. I wanted to scream, to cry, but instead, I flipped open my laptop. If he wouldn't back me, I'd do it myself. I had my skills, my grit, and a measly savings account, barely enough to scrape by, but it was mine. Next morning, I called Mia, my ride-or-die best friend and the only one who'd ever cheered my crazy dreams. "I'm doing it," I told her, voice wobbly but fierce. "I'm starting the business." "Yes," she practically shouted, her excitement a lifeline. "Sophie, you're gonna kill it. I'm so proud of you." "Kill it? Maybe," I said with a shaky laugh. "But I'm damn well gonna try. I can't let him be right about me." "He's not right," Mia shot back, fierce as ever. "He's stuck in yesterday. This isn't about him, it's about you proving you're right." Her words stuck like glue. I didn't need Dad's nod, I needed mine. Starting was brutal, even though I braced for it. My savings took a nosedive: registration, a bare-bones website, a cheap laptop that groaned under my software. My dining table turned into mission control, every free second swallowed by the grind. Clients? That was the real fight. I haunted forums, cold emailed strangers, pounded pavement with DIY flyers. Most folks smiled politely, "We'll think it over," they'd say, or "maybe next time." Rejection stung, but I swallowed it. At night, Dad's voice haunted me, Focus on your stable job. Some days I almost bought it. Stop kicking yourself, Mia said one night. Sprawled across my couch as we brainstormed. This is the gig, you're planting seeds. Give him time to sprout. Mia was my secret weapon. A graphic designer by trade. She jumped in from day one, whipping up a logo, polishing my site, crafting brochures that made my shoestring setup look legit. I'd be lost without you, I told her, watching her tweak a design. You'd manage, she grinned. But lucky you I'm here. With her boost I shifted gears, zeroed in on local spots. Quirky boutiques, cozy cafes, mom-and-pop shops fighting to survive. Free consultations became my hook. Extra work, zero pay up front, but it cracked doors open. Slowly word spread. One client turned into two, then a trickle of steady gigs. Meanwhile, my family's doubt loomed like a storm cloud. Dad stayed quiet after that dinner. His silence louder than any lecture. Mom checked in now and then, her tone dripping with pity. How's your little hobby going? She'd ask. It's a business, Mom, I'd reply, forcing a grin. And it's growing. Good, good, she'd say, rushing past it. Your dad's swamped with Ethan's company. You know, maybe ask him for tips? Ethan? The name twisted my gut. His latest venture, propped up by Dad's wallet, was tanking. I heard the whispers through industry friends. Investors bailing. Deadlines missed. Still, Dad kept pouring money in, swearing Ethan just needed more time. One day, I bumped into him at a coffee shop near my place. He was hunched over his laptop. Stress etched into his face. Hey, I said, testing the waters. How's it going? He jolted, eyes flicking up. Sophie? Fine. Just a lot to juggle. Yeah, I said, leaving it there. Walking away, I couldn't shake it. He was drowning, and I almost felt bad. Almost. Back home, I doubled down, tracked every win, every flop, fine-tuned my game plan. First referral? Gold. First month covering rent? Electric. Each step screamed I can do this, even if Dad couldn't see it. Then came the breakthrough. Mia and I toasted with soda cans when I snagged a deal with a local bakery chain to handle their books and payroll. This is it, Sophie, she said, eyes gleaming. Your big swing. It's a start. I grinned, pride swelling. Setbacks still hit. Clients ghosted, deals fell through, but I kept pushing. I'm not just proving him wrong, I told Mia one late night. I'm proving I've got this. I believe in me. That, she said, jabbing her pen at me, is why you'll win. 6 months in, the bakery gig paid off big. They recommended me to suppliers, and suddenly my inbox was a flood zone. 5 clients turned into a roster, and I brought me on part-time for branding. We moved from my table to a downtown co-working space. Nothing fancy but mine. Every time I walked in, sunlight streaming through those giant windows, I thought, I built this. Ethan's world, though? Crumbling. Rumors of chaos, investors jumping ship, deadlines in ashes. Mom's calls grew frantic. He's drowning, Sophie. Your dad's trying, but... Then it imploded. A friend texted mid-meeting, Ethan's company's toast. Investors bolted. Messy. That night, Mom begged me to come for dinner. Your dad wants to talk. I went, half dreading the guilt trip. But when I sat down, Dad blindsided me. I've heard about your business, he said, voice even. It's impressive. I froze. Words I'd chased forever, and now they hung there. Thanks, I managed. It's been a fight, but worth it. He glanced at Ethan, still scrolling, oblivious. Ethan's didn't pan out. I thought I was helping him, giving him what he needed. I see now I misjudged you both. What? I blinked, stunned. I underestimated you, he said, eyes locking mine. I was wrong. You've proven it. Ethan snapped, Dad, this isn't about her. Enough, Dad barked. You weren't ready, Ethan. Sophie was. Silence crashed in. Dad's voice softened. I'm proud of you, Sophie. Should have said it sooner. You've shown me what real fight looks like. I dreamed of this. His apology, his pride. But it didn't feel like victory. It felt calm. Thanks. Dad, I said. I didn't do it to prove you wrong. I did it because I knew I could. I hope you see that now. I do. He nodded, regret flickering in his eyes. Walking out that night, I felt lighter. Not because he'd finally seen me, but because I'd seen myself. Weeks later, things shifted. Ethan started asking me for advice, real stuff like how to keep clients. Trust, I told him. Show them you're all in. He listened and it hit me we weren't rivals anymore. Dad, too, stopped dismissing my work, even offered contacts I turned down. I wasn't ready to blur those lines again. One day, he visited my office, humble but buzzing. "You've built something special," he said. "I'm proud." That warmth lingered, but the real shift was me. I didn't need his thumbs up anymore, I'd earned my own. 6 months later, my business was a force, 2 part-timers, Mia as creative director. A feature in a regional mag calling us a grassroots triumph. Mom gushed, "Your dad framed it." Family dinners turned easy, Dad curious, Ethan grounded, me steady. One afternoon, staring out my office window at the city pulse, I felt it. Peace. The road had been hell, but it forged me. My future? Wide open. And it was mine to shape.